Hey, what's up, gangsters, vigilantes, and villains, and welcome to a Nerdy Bunch weekly review for The Penguin. And helping me keep my sanity when the world says I'm crazy is my co host, Andrew. What's up, Andrew?
You are crazy. What's up, David?
So crazy, I'm just feeling deja vu right now. We're here to talk The Penguin, episode 4, titled Sentani. Synopsis is as follows. Confronting the events that turned her into the hangman and led to a decade long fight for survival in Arkham, Sofia makes plans for a more hopeful future. This episode is not a spoiler to say this is a flashback episode, um, but it does a good job of still connecting to the previous episode. Usually, some flashback episodes are more standalone, but I
Yeah,
feel like this has standalone elements, but you still must have seen the first three episodes
for
for the
sure. Yeah,
context of
yeah,
this one.
yeah.
Um, this episode's full of brilliant writing. We get some reveals, we get answers, we get more questions. Some of these answers we predicted, but as always, like a good reveal should be, as we say all the time, it should the answer is not what matters, it's how we get the
hmm
reveal. It's the
hmm
how that's important. We
Exactly.
spoke last week about the fact that it was episode 3 and big things were happening. Things were getting changed, things were getting turned around.
hmm
And us as TV and movie connoisseurs thought we knew what was happening, and that pulled the rug right from under us. And I think this episode continues to drag that rug from us because, again, the things that happen in this episode not only feel like season ending moments, but some of them feel like series ending moments. Like this is the last hurrah, and
Yeah.
with this is only episode 3, episode 4 of I believe 8, so only halfway through. I have no idea where we're going next. What is going on? Give us your spoiler-free thoughts on the episode, Andrew.
Um. Yeah. First of all, again, just shout out Sophia. Her acting was just 10 over 10, fantastic. She really, she really brought her A game right with this character. I love this episode for adding a lot of color to her backstory. Right. Even like you said, they addressed a lot of questions and debunked some things that we may have thought. I think the show was intentionally trying to mislead us in some places, and we've seen some conclusions to some of those initial guesses. So that was really good.
Like whose
It's
show this really
it's
is.
but really though, I mean, if I was confused, I would think this was her show,
Right.
just based off of this, and just like you said, it really it's teamed this show up really well for the future episodes because I can't say I know what direction it's going. Like we know there's going to be a clash of some sorts between certain characters. I think that much is pretty clear, but the specifics as to the how, the what, it's just all up in the air, and we get to see a lot more of just what made her become who she is. And I think even for me, it's not exactly as I thought it would be. Yes, I may have had some inklings of some of the things, but yeah, there was just a lot. She really she went through a lot, right? And all I'm saying is I'm on her side now. I mean, we know this is a show about there's no Batman, there's no heroes, so I mean, in picking whose side I'm on, I'm Team Sophia, right? The way it was shot, the way it was sliced, I think it's just setting up the second half of this show to be honestly probably something crazy. Like I feel like we've gone past the has there even been a quiet moments in the show? Not sure. I was gonna say we've gone past the quiet moments,
I mean,
but
episode
I
1 when they're
don't.
having the ice cream or the sodas.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe.
that was probably the most quiet, right? But
Maybe.
yeah, what I'm really enjoying is that this show is it's not married to the Batman, but it's very closely connected. I
Yeah.
think that's a great. You know what? Even if you hadn't seen the movie, I would still be like, fine, watch the show, and then we'll make you go watch the movie or something,
Yes. Yes.
right? Like, I feel like it succeeded in that, and that's just a hallmark of, like you said, some great writing. That ending, oh yeah, the ending was pretty great. It was pretty great.
Even again, we've had two shows between this and One Division. I mean, One Division between this and Agatha all along, where the most recent episodes ends with the perfect needle drops. And I'm not, again, I've said it before, I'm not usually a fan of needle drops. I think sometimes it leans too heavily on the fact that the song we're hearing is a popular song.
Yeah.
But for the context, I mean, I won't give you the context, but I'll give you the name of the song. Or at the end of this one, it's called "Strange Little Girls" by the Stranglers. I was like, come on.
Like, yeah, so on the nose, but so good though.
So
So
good,
good.
so good. Um, Before we go into spoilers, I just want to kind of mention, you already talked about this, Kristen Milioti as Sophia. You know, this is a great case of show me you're trying to go for an Emmy without showing me.
Right?
Tell me you're trying to go for an Emmy without telling me you're trying to go for an Emmy,
Ah,
because the
yes,
acting
so
on display, not just is her acting really good, but the nature of the acting, because we're going to flashbacks, but we also have some moments in the present day. It's two versions of Sophia. It's
Mhm.
pre Arkham Sophia and post Arkham Sophia. And those are very two drastically different people. And she sells them both so well.
Mhm.
So well. I believe, because then there's also elements of the character that also appear in both sides.
Yep,
It's not just completely different, right? You can understand
exactly.
it's the same person. I thought it was fantastically done. Um, the makeup as well to make the character look younger. We even see a
Mhm.
younger Oz,
Oz, uh-huh.
which looks good for fact that that person doesn't exist in
Yeah,
real life.
right? Like
It's like, okay, you made
more
him look younger.
yeah.
What the hell? And this show, we've talked about how this show does a good job of manipulating our emotions with who do we root for,
Mhm.
right? From
Sophia.
Oz to Vic, who do we root for? Because sometimes we feel like we're rooting for them, but then they do something when to make us realize, well, you know what?
They
Parts
suck.
of parts of this, not just that, but parts of the reason why you're in this situation as well is because of a choice you made.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
certain
see
things
your fault.
happened to you, but you could have gotten out of that if you'd
Yeah,
made certain choices.
yeah.
Whereas this is the first time I'm like, no, she's a victim.
Yeah, she is 100%. Like,
And choices were made that she had no control over. And I thought this was a great way to kind of, again, continue to play with our emotions to kind of make us feel like, what should we think? Because this is what we
mhm,
know of her. This is what we're learning about her.
mhm.
I don't know where to go.
Yeah, like
But that's the brilliance of it. It's in that gray areas, because those gray areas don't always make sense.
yes, yeah.
Right. All right, but let's go into spoilers right now because I feel
Spoilers.
spoilery discussions. Let's go straight into it. What I love of this episode is how it begins at the end of last episode, but we get different
Different
from different
view.
point of view.
Mhm.
We get the full conversation,
Wow.
right? When
I was screaming, man.
telling her that Oz did kill your brother and all that stuff. And
Mm,
even that
it is.
moment, you see how, and I love the shot, right, of from Sophia's point of view, looking at him, just
Mhm,
lying,
mhm.
boom, without even
Like
thinking, just
he didn't even
lying.
address her. He didn't even answer
No.
her. He was just like, look, I did it for you, man.
For you, we're gonna
Nadia,
do
it's all
this,
for you. Yeah.
and then
And
like
Sophia just
Sophia's
like,
just, what the, like, for someone like her who knows that Oz can lie, who's seen him
yeah,
lie, but even in this moment, you're still going on. Like, I was doing this all for you, and just leaves her. Like, I was like, damn. Oof.
like that,
Ooh.
like her that was like her final straw for trusting people. She's not
Mhm.
like, yeah, it.
Yeah, right.
This is a YOLO thing, man. Like,
Right, right.
oh
But this is what
wow,
takes us. She gets injured in a car crash, which is a nice way to kind of transition into the flashback. It's not just for the sake of it. She gets some head trauma and we go back into the flashback. And this is where we start seeing some of her past lives. And what I like about the show as well is that it doesn't tell you flashback. Like
okay,
previous episode, you kind of just have to figure it out through context. It's not holding your hand. Um, what I like is that we get some moments of her knowing what her father does, but still trying to justify it in, in some formal way. When the reporter Summer comes to try and tell her about these stories that are happening, wanting her to kind of rat on her father, and even when her father then tells her, you want to be in on the family business, so she kind of knows,
yeah,
but she doesn't fully accept, the narrative that she's being pulled down, right? What did you think of her kind of slowly realizing the world that she's in? And then she fully realizes when dad has her arrested.
yeah. Oh, that was cold, right? Because I think that was the best part of this episode at first was just seeing, quote unquote, like I said, the pre Arkham Sophia,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Relatively happy-ish, right? Even like a nice person, right? I think her brother called Oz Penguin, and she's like, "Don't call him that,"
Yeah, right.
Little things that just make us know that she didn't end up, or she wasn't born like this, right? She she went through a journey, and she even compliments Oz at the dinner party when he comes in, like, "Oh, what are you doing here, driver boy? I like your jacket."
The is that like some kind of sometimes you can be friendly with someone who's in
Hmm.
a higher like your boss. You can be friendly with your
Yeah,
boss, but then something happens where they remind you that they're your boss.
which she did a few times.
I feel like because I was the same way at first. I was like, "Oh, she's so nice to him," but even
Uh-huh.
before everything happened, she reminds him that he's just the driver.
It's
I
like,
don't need your
hey,
opinions.
hey, driver,
And
space.
when she says, "What are you doing here?" It almost seems like what you're doing in the house.
No,
Try.
not almost. It is that. It is like, oh my gosh, guys, there's a peasant. There's a peasant in here, guys. Did you guys? Oh my! Look, he bought a jacket. Oh, it's like
Oh,
that's
it looks so
so cute.
cute.
Look at the cute little penguin. Happy feet. Sorry.
Right, so that's what I
um,
mean. She still has elements of that, of that character where she still looks at him on a lower status. We're not
yeah.
equal to you,
I mean, again, she's still a Falcone, right? Like, I guess at the end of the day, like this is a Mother Teresa. Let's be real, but I feel like she still felt very like relatable, and like
Yes.
you could tell that she was at least the best of the bunch. I'll say or something, but I feel
She was
like
still
just
happy
like
to
yeah,
sorry, she was
so,
still happy to potentially take over the business though.
yeah. And like you said, I don't know if she knew she must have known it. She might not know the like 100% details of the business, but like, come on, she knew what was really going on out here. Let's
Yeah,
let's be real,
definitely.
right?
Definitely.
Um, and the fact that her brother was just like her dad didn't trust her brother at all, called him a fool. It's like it's just so funny. Oh, I mean, hey, shout out Falcone actor replacing the movie actor.
Actually,
Also,
it was I was looking into why it was replaced. It was nothing more than the fact that the original actor John Turturro was busy scheduling
you know,
conflicts. They couldn't get him in time,
it's a
unfortunately.
shame. It's a
But
shame.
I think he got the mannerisms.
No, he did.
Well,
100%. He's a great
yeah,
actor. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
this isn't his first rodeo, and I didn't. It didn't feel jarring at all. That I've seen
No,
things before where it's like, oh, it's a different actor. Whereas here, it's just like, yeah, I'm with it. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah. It just felt like, oh,
I'll roll with that.
younger version.
Yeah, right. It kind of played in with the story.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, it was great just to see her. I think especially from the moment where her dad sends her home, then the cops stop her, and then, the lawyer tells her she's going in for 6 months, up until when her brother came to tell her that, yeah, you ain't getting out of here, girl. And then up on to her, breaking Magpie, what's her name?
Magpie.
Magpie's head on the in Arkham. I've everything felt like a natural progression, right? I didn't at any
Hmm.
point feel like, how did she get here? It
Hmm.
was very much like I feel like I was going crazy with her, right? I was just
Hmm.
like, no, oh my gosh, no. And then like, oh, and then they kept giving her like the treatment on the bed, and she was like trying to claim that she's innocent. Like the whole episode, I almost felt like I was watching it. Not felt like we kind of were watching it through Sophia's eyes, but I actually
Yes.
really did, relate with her in the bit because she's like, there's not. I feel like there's nothing worse than being in a place where you're innocent. It's different if you actually, even if you committed like a small crime, right? You'd be like, oh, I know why I'm here. She's literally like, why the heck am I here, right?
Which I
Like
thought was
I felt for her.
which I thought was interesting because we've seen narratives and even real world narratives and real movies and TV shows that deal with people who were wrongfully imprisoned. And it
Right.
was interesting to see someone wrongfully imprisoned in an insane asylum,
Yeah, because that's a
which is a
difference. That's
whole other level, you know, where they're actively doing things to you that if you are sane will break you
you're not
because
going to be by
you're
the
going
end.
through shock therapy, you're going
Uh-huh.
through chemical therapy, and all these kind of things that you shouldn't be going through because
Yeah.
your mind isn't broken.
Yeah.
And I found that such an interesting position to put her in. And even going into it, let's rewind a bit. The moment where her, realizing that everybody is against her, and it's that reminder that her father, Carmine, has so much power and leverage in Gotham. Right, the movies told us that he owned the police. That the
Yeah.
police that arrests her is the same guy we see in the movie, which is a nice touch. It's a
Hmm.
nice touch. Other than Oz, this is the first time I believe we've seen another person from the movie.
I think
Uh,
so.
Again, without drawing too much attention, If you don't know, it doesn't matter as much. Even to the fact that possibly her lawyer is also working for daddy. The lawyer's like, not much you can do. You're on your own. I'm gonna leave. you know,
Like she didn't
and
even have 30 seconds with her brother. It was just
no,
like, all right, I'll give you some time. Oh, sorry, it's happening now. Sorry,
all
go.
right, I gotta go.
like,
Carmine,
thanks.
Carmine's calling me.
Like,
Yeah,
damn.
it really, you really feel her pain and just her confusion. Like, what is going on? Like,
Uh-huh.
what the hell? Suddenly, I'm gonna be put in this thing. What is going on here? And then, having that hope. I love when she says, I'm not gonna survive in a place like this for 6 months, only to be told that you're gonna possibly spend the rest of your life in there. When she
Listen,
goes
10
silent.
years?
Well, she ended up 10 years, but she didn't know it was to be
I
10
will
years.
just like, what the 10
At
years?
the time could have been forever. And when her brother tells her that, I love her silence, because she just, at that moment, she's been holding on for 6 months. She said
Yeah.
it lasted 6 months,
So the
and now
bit, and the
just, I was just like, damn, I couldn't even be in prison for that long, let alone
an
an
insane
asylum.
asylum, like
Like,
where
that's
you're
a
slowly going
whole,
crazy. Oh,
and not just alone go crazy. You are a fact
well,
around people
like,
who are broken,
yeah, and
like
being
everybody
broken.
around you.
Yes.
No, right? Because somebody can be in prison and not be broken. He just did something wrong, right?
Yeah.
But if you're here, you are broken.
Yeah. 100%.
And you're around all of that 24/7. When she first goes into her cell and just hearing all the screams and the laughter, and even Magpie talking to her, and she's just like, Magpie's like, "Oh, you get used to the screams at night." I
Yeah, you're
was
like,
like,
no, I don't want to get used to the screams.
I don't want to get
I
used to
couldn't,
it.
like,
Get used to this, and then obviously we are set up with, because we know this from the comics and the movies, and it kind of plays into it in terms of Arkham isn't necessarily a place that's trying to rehabilitate people,
mhm.
right? And you get more with the other doctor. What's his name again?
Not Rush, the V guy. But,
No, Rush. I'm talking about Rush.
yeah, Rush.
You get more with
I
Rush.
liked him at least. I like that she kind of had like a little bit of an ally because I wasn't sure how much he was in on it.
Yes,
I
I
think I
still don't
believe
know
you're
though.
right.
I don't
The
know.
reason I think is just because he at least tried to speak up a little bit to the other doctor. Like, what if she
Mhm.
said the truth? And that guy was like, "Bruh, boy, better
And
shut
he
up."
did say he quit. He quit the
Yeah.
place, but I don't
I
know. I
feel like
feel
there
like
may
it's
be
more.
more. There may be more going forward, right? There are a lot
Yeah.
of theories. Even because I was there in my comic bag. Like, isn't there a villain called Rush? But that might be a little bit too obvious because I don't think the backstory is the same.
No.
But I see people online thinking he's Hugo Strange. I think that's a reach. Personally, I don't
S-
know. I don't
Some
know.
people are thinking Scarecrow.
I feel like, anyways, based on where we are, it could definitely be anything or it could be nothing.
Yes.
It could just be a new character for the sake of giving us kind of some respite for Sophia, right? Because
Hmm.
Penguin was at least the closest thing she had to an ally up until end of last episode. So she needed someone, right? So I'm also happy she kind of has that outlet, and even the way she acts when she's at his place after, just like, and just such great acting, right? Like
Hmm.
you can tell she's no longer. I guess Tans Arkham would do that to anyone, but she's
Hmm.
definitely no longer this little lady who's like super innocent. She knows what's up, right? She knows what's
Hmm.
going on, and yeah, I just have to get there already. Like that end scene was just, it was too good because I was watching my wife, and then she went down with the daughter of that lady, and I first was like, no, I was like, don't kill her, Sophia. I was like, no,
Right.
don't kill her.
But that's the thing. After everything you've seen, you still feel Sophia's going to do something to the girl in that
Yeah,
moment. You still have that feeling like, oh my
yeah,
god,
like, oh my,
what is
like
she
she's,
doing?
there's no way, right? There's no way she's gonna
Right.
do that. But
Which,
then
which
it was
plays into
when they
our
went to
bias, right?
sleep. Hmm.
Right. It
They've
plays into
done
our
this to
bias
us. Hmm.
because she's actively saving the girl, but we're like, she's going to do something to this girl.
But I think I figured out when the girl went to lay down, I was like, oh shit, she about to. I thought you were gonna burn the house. Actually, don't. Oh, that's
I
fine.
thought so too. I thought the house was going to be burnt down.
I was like, yep, she's burning it so
I
tight,
didn't know she's
bitch.
going to gas everybody, and just
Which
loved her walking through the house, just checking on everyone with the
it's
mask
like
on.
opening the door, like,
Right.
okay, good.
You're
You're
dead?
you're
Okay.
you're dead. You're dead. You're dead. Good.
Just making
Good.
sure
You
you're dead.
too. You too. Okay, good. Luca, you're very dead. Great.
Right.
Moving on. And
Right.
then Vidi, right? So many people thought Vidi was definitely a gunner, but somehow
Yep.
Vidi is he's surviving, which I guess makes sense a little bit based
Make
on
him suffer.
yeah, and even I guess as she's alone, but she has to one take control of this family, Two, I mean, listen, I know the show is Penguin, but she needs to get some. She needs to take something from him. I don't know what it is. She might. My guess is she kills his mother, um,
Ooh.
or at least kidnaps her, right? Because Oz is probably underground. Like he's not he's not going to be found easily. I'm pretty sure about that. But Vidi, somebody's going to find out about this mother or something, and use that as a way to bring him out of hiding. Is my guess. Because damn, he basically fucked over twice. I mean,
Hmm.
in pretty bad ways too, right? Like no, I can't let him win this. But I saw someone online say that that's when there's a good villain in the show, right? When you're scared at the thought of that villain, succeeding. Like I don't want to see Oz get away with this scot free,
Yeah.
but he might. But he might.
Well, he might.
he literally, probably, and possibly might. But I feel like she can't die, right? They can't kill the entire Falcone branch,
Can't they?
right? I mean,
I don't know. They could
bruh,
do anything in this show, apparently.
what if, right? And I don't know if I thought Luca. I felt like he would be gone from the picture eventually, but I
But I
did
didn't
not
think
think
so
he'd be like
early.
this. No, no, no.
No,
I thought
no, no, no.
he was like again like a penultimate episode, maybe episode 7 or 8, and even in more of like a face to face or like nah.
Right.
She played that perfectly, and I I I I literally shudder at the thought of Penguin succeeding over her. But again, I think that's what we're definitely on the fast track too, right? There's going to be a clash between her and Penguin. What that
Hmm.
looks like is not going to be pretty. There's definitely going to
No.
be some collateral damage, and his mother is the only person I can think of that Oz even cares about,
Hmm.
um, and would be findable. So
Hmm.
I definitely see something there, and I just love that she's now like, excuse me, I love that she's now unhinged, right? Like before, she was still kind of dealing with coming back home and
Hmm.
like trying to navigate the hierarchy of the family, and then refusing to trust all, but then trusting him. And now she's been validated in her own self, and she just leaned in, man. She leaned
He's
straight
like,
into
this
the
is what you want me
crazy.
to be. This is what you
Like,
want.
are you not entertained? Like,
Right,
get to you go.
even such subtle things like overpouring her drink, to show that how unhinged she is, or
Yeah.
just like the meatball in the mouth, things like
That's-
that.
oh, so but she even eating with her hands still,
Right,
just like
right.
the
She's
touch of
like, you
like
know what?
a
There's no
decade,
rules. I don't care anymore.
10
Type
years in
Yeah.
Arkham. Oh my
Like,
god, bro!
oh,
Like,
I
like
love when
yeah.
she says, I'm not the one who's sick. The world is. Brilliant line.
I was like, great
Great,
line,
great.
but I was like, yeah, you kind of are sick now as well.
Well, I liked it
I
as a
hear
line.
you.
Is that
I hear you, ma'am.
well? I liked it as a line that says the world is sick and contagious, and it
Mhm.
infected her.
For
Right,
sure.
the world made her sick.
Yeah.
She wasn't. Again, she wasn't looking for it. She didn't make these choices. These choices were
Mhm.
made for her every step along the way, and to the point where
Yeah.
she's like, I'm accepting this. I loved when she does kill Magpie, and she's like, I told you I'm innocent, and
Yeah, that
just
was so great.
I love that moment, just the contrast of that, of saying she's innocent after having her first kill,
Yeah.
right? Or even earlier when she's shouting at the family, and then she's just like, "This guy, I forget his name, like this guy, he's had more kills than me." Like,
Next to her, like Sophia. Oh
I
my
love that.
gosh.
Again, I love that she's reaches that moment of being silenced, and then gets to the point by the end of the narrative. Again, the opening narrative when she gives the speech starts with "I'm not one for speeches," and then
Yeah.
the closing narrative when she's giving the speech before she kills the family, she says, "I'm not one for speeches." But this time she kind of speaks out, and I love that she gives the names of all the victims. That even though she was blamed for killing those victims, she remembers who they are because
Yeah.
they don't. And she says they don't. Their stories don't get told. They don't get remembered.
Mhm.
And then even in the prison, right? The other ladies, they get mad at her because they think she killed all these women.
At Arkham, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
right.
They're like,
Yeah,
hangman, hangman, hangman.
right. And even the doctor trying to turn her to be like, oh, this is the woman that attacked you. Here's your chance to attack her back.
Oh, I actually knew she was gonna stab herself, and
Oh
that
my
was
god.
just messed up. I was just like, oh god.
She'd rather stab herself
Ugh.
than spend another day in Arkham. That's how bad it was. And this is someone who was assumably guilty,
Yeah,
as
right.
opposed to someone who's not
Like,
guilty,
like
right?
that makes it 10 times worse for someone who's innocent,
Right.
right?
I was
Like,
just like,
gee,
damn. I feel like they did a good job of, as much as Oz is constantly like thinking of himself, I feel like they did a good job of showing us the moment that Oz was like, you know what, key Sophia, and that's when she was all like, I don't talk to, you're just a driver. I don't want to hear your opinions. Because it's not long after that, there's like, all
was
right,
like,
I'm riding out to daddy.
I was like, okay, okay.
Oh, so that's what we're
He's
like.
so petty. He's so petty. Right. And it's in line with his comic book self. Like again,
Right.
Penguin is known as somebody who years after he remembers if you told him that he looked stupid in a random outfit and is gonna kill your entire family and then make your children, I
Hmm.
don't know, crackheads or something. Like that is Oz. And it played in so well. Even
Right.
the brother was him Alfredo.
Yeah.
Because he called Oz Penguin back in the day, right? Like I said, and I feel like it just tied in with him killing him because it's like he remembered that this guy used to make fun
Hmm.
of him and
Hmm.
just don't
Alberto.
make fun of Penguin. Alberto, I said Alfredo. Bastard. Alberto, originally calling him Penguin, right? And yeah, just don't talk down to Oz.
Right.
That's almost the
Especially if he
lesson here.
thinks, oh, I thought we were friends.
Mhm.
I feel like he feels the insult even more when he assumed we were close. He assumed we were friends. And now you're going to talk down to him like this. But I did like his kind of look of shame when he's like, "Oh, your dad wants to talk to you," and she's like, "Oh, wow, what's it about? Oh, nice outfit." And he doesn't really talk
Okay.
to her the same way because he knows
Okay.
like, "Oh, yeah,
Like somebody
yeah."
snitched. Right. So, he
Somebody
even
did
tries to
something.
apologize to her. So wait, what I was in? Okay, no, because he didn't know that the cops are gonna come take her, right? That
No,
that
he didn't know that she was going to.
to go to Arkham
Yeah, he
at
didn't know
least.
what her father would have
The
done.
ramifications, yeah,
Yes, but
that part I believe, but
he's
still,
not
like,
stupid enough that you knew he was
what
going
do
to
you
do
expect?
something.
Yeah, what do you expect, bro? Like he killed her
Right,
instead, like.
right. You knew he was going to do something. One thing we spoke about, actually, speaking of that, we did predict that she was in prison because Daddy had done
Framed
things and framed her. We did predict that, so I think we should tap ourselves on the back for that one.
for sure.
We called that. And again, if you've been paying attention to the narrative, it makes sense. He's someone that in the movies is established that he strangles all these women. That's his MO,
Yeah. Mhm.
strangle these women. And I like that they kind of, the way they connected it, where these women were made to look like they were being hung or hanged, but he was just strangling them. And the way he's able to get away with all this is because all along the way, from the police department to the forensics to the
He
judge,
owns them all. He
he
owns
owns them
everything.
all, owns them all, has no problem
Like
using that.
literally, they were like each of the cases. What they all had like struggle wounds in their hand, but
Hmm.
that wasn't filed in the
Now
report. Like,
we don't look
oh,
at that.
oops, that's a
Don't
slight
look at
big
that.
detail we missed. My
Yep.
bad. In all seven. Oh yeah.
Right, right,
Oops. And like, oh yeah, they all hung themselves. But then you see you see like full on
right.
hand marks on their neck, like
Like,
hmm.
right. There's no like table underneath them. Like, how did they get up there in the first place?
Just like
Right.
I continue to love seeing like the. I think I'm enjoying seeing because I like the Gotham show back in the day, but I like seeing Gotham without Batman for a
Hmm.
second, right? Where you're just seeing like why the city is so rotten. Right? It's just like there's so much going on in here that it almost like it's continuing to remind us why Batman needs to exist, right? Like
Yes.
sometimes I forget. You feel like he's just a dude who beats up on jaywalkers sometimes, right? But the other times you're like, no. There's a systematic issue that he literally has to solve in a kind of a very specific way that the police can't do either because half of them are in on it.
Well, that's the thing, and it goes back to what I always say when people criticize that. Oh, he could fix things by throwing money at it, and it's like, no, actually, it's so far gone.
Quite the opposite,
Quite
actually.
the opposite. Yes, throwing money is going to make things worse because you
Mhm.
can't control where that money goes and how it's spent. Yeah, and that's the problem because it goes all the way to the top in many places. Um, I did like the fact that the use of flashbacks as well as
Mhm.
we see more details of what happened the night of her mom's death as
Yeah.
she's remembering them. She remembers more details here and there, like noticing the
Mhm.
scratches on her dad's arm that she didn't.
Mhm.
She kind of, because again, when traumatic experiences happen to you, you tend to suppress certain memories, and then they
The
slowly start
painful
to come
ones.
back. Right? They start to come back, and even then, she's not quite sure because she doesn't want to believe that her father would have done that. When she's just like, I noticed the scratches, but it couldn't have been that, right? right?
The
Must have been something else, right? Right?
Falcone was like, oh,
Even
oops,
like,
oopsie.
oh, I was going to make you the head, but which I do like. I do like the fact that before all of this, because it justifies the fact that she wants to take over, because she was supposed to be.
Exactly.
She was the one, so it was her rightful place. Which again, it probably adds more context to the narrative of Luca, because Luca probably knew this. That's why he wants to send her away.
Uh-huh.
She's probably rightful owner, but
That's
let me
okay.
let me get her
and
out of here.
and that's why I love that in her speech she still made it seem like she was leaving,
Hmm.
right? Like she really was like, because she said something like, I'm leaving tomorrow,
Hmm.
she had a line like that mid speech, which I
Yes,
felt
yes,
like it was just to like make them all drop their guard even that bit more. Like, oh, she's just crazy. Don't worry,
yeah,
she'll be
right.
gone by tomorrow.
Hmm.
Let's
Hmm.
not worry about her for
Let's
tonight.
sleep. Let's sleep nicely tonight.
Yeah, like let's just sleep, whatever. And she'll be gone, and then next thing you know, X is on the eyes because them dead. Um,
Let me ask you a question. First
yes.
of all, I love the line when she finds out about what Oz did. She says, "My father sees you now, and everyone you love are on his radar." Which I love. I love that line because it could be talking about his mother and probably
Yeah.
why he put his mother into hiding.
Is it?
From Sophia's point of view, what's worse, betrayed by Oz or letting him betray her again?
Man, it has to be the again, right? Just because it's like she said, she was like, oh, I think there's nothing worse than when you fight your initial feelings about someone, right? Like you have
Mhm,
an inkling, I don't trust this person, then you forcibly make yourself trust them, right? For whatever reason, and then not just that you found out, oh, by the way, Oscar, your your brother, this dude is next to you, literally disregarding your existence and talking to your enemy like everything you did was just like, nah. If I I'm almost shocked that in that moment she didn't start strangling him. I thought that was going
right,
to
right,
happen.
right,
Like I don't care if you kill me, I'm going to strangle this dude right here. Like
right.
I can't believe it, and that's why I'm really curious as to how they go about these next few episodes. Like I said,
Mhm,
I'm pretty sure she has to take his mom. She just has to. I don't know what else would hurt him the most, but like, what is the conclusion between their saga gonna be?
mhm.
I'm not. They basically both after episode 8. I'm ready to eat my words. They both cannot be alive.
Yeah.
That much is more or less clear to me. Between Oz, Vic, Sophia, and Mother, only 2 out of 4 are going to be alive. Which two? I'm not sure. I can't say. It might be Oz and Mommy. She might kill Vic. I don't know. It could be a different permutation or combination
Mhm,
of these. But I feel like it's been set up so perfectly for us to understand her vengeance, almost in a
mhm,
sense, right? Like, and I don't know if we'd have had that without the length of this flashback, right? Because
mhm,
sometimes, which at first I thought I wanted, sometimes you get like shorter flashbacks kind of like sliced in,
mhm,
whereas they gave us the full view, right? We saw her pre Arkham, during post Arkham, and now as the last surviving member of the Falcone criminal mastermind family. So yeah, I don't know, but I just can't wait for what happens, and what else we're quote unquote missing, right? I still feel
mhm,
like there's still a little gray area. I'm not sure in what per se, right? But
mhm.
they haven't put all the cards on the table because it's just halfway in the season. How?
Right. I love the scene when she's talking to the family and she says, all of you, I trusted you, and not one of you tried to help me. And
The
she
head.
says, along the lines of, how am I don't know how to convince you I'm sane when you've already made up your mind about me. So it just puts me in an interesting predicament, right? Of the family. This is a family that everybody knows what's going on. You can't be part of a crime family without knowing to some degree what your family does. Even the son even says, "You know what our father does, right? But you should be happy because look how we live."
Mossad. Like Mossad, and the girls in the club are assassins.
Right.
I
So,
was
but
like,
what?
is he joking?
Right.
Like,
But what do you
oh,
do for the perspective of the family? Like, say you were Carla, the cousin, right? Because you see Carla as well, right?
yeah,
What do you do in that
it's a tough
situation?
one. You
Because
can't speak against Carmine.
because that's what if you can do that to his daughter, what's he going to do to you?
Right. And I mean, because again, we're confirmed that Carmine killed her mother, right? Like
Right.
that's like I'm assuming the family kind of knows, even if not directly. So my point is, okay, this dude did this to his daughter, killed or probably killed his wife. Like, listen, fam, I ain't saying nothing. Like, nah, I'm just like whatever you want, boss.
And then like you forced to kind of sign an affidavit saying that she's crazy. She used to kill animals for fun.
Yeah,
Like,
so it's something like a Trump thing, like they're
right.
eating the dogs.
But
But no,
that's why. But that's the nuance of it all, right? Because you one minute you're like, oh, her family is such dicks, they could do that to her. But it's like it's not like a easy predicament to be in, especially when it's family, right? It's not like, oh, someone like Penguin or Oz, I should say, who chose to be in this life. If you're born into it, right? Your family, you're born into this life. How do you kind of stand up for someone knowing that standing up for them will probably get you killed as well? Not saying it's
yeah,
right what they did, but I'm saying it's easy to say, oh, they're such dicks. They should have stood up for her. It's easy to say it. I
yeah,
don't know if it's so
but
easy to do it.
you might do the same. Like it's
Right?
different if it was just like strong in the family, but like he owns a good chunk of Gotham too.
The
So it's like,
police, the judges, everybody.
man, it's just like, I mean, sorry, Sophia. Maybe that would have helped. Maybe if one of them on that table at least like, I'm sorry, but like even then they didn't seem. I don't say
Yeah,
they didn't seem
yeah.
like they care, but
Sorry
they
for
seem like they still
themselves.
more cared. Yeah, they more cared about just maintaining the status quo as opposed to
Yeah, yeah,
whatever effect it had
yeah,
on
yeah.
this lady, right? Because again, 10 years
At least you could have
in
visited
Arkham,
her.
you did it, and that's why it's just like you said. I feel like the betrayal with Oz is a lot worse now because he actually killed her brother, right? And her brother
Mhm.
was the only one who's even, given her any sort of love, right, or any kind of respite that she still had a family. And then this stupid driver has now killed said brother and is lying and is also talking to the enemy. Oh my
To my
god.
face and blamed it on them. And the only reason they're an enemy, like in that sense, is because he tried
Because
to
of
frame
him.
us together. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Nah.
Yes.
Again, we're reminded this show is called the Penguin for a reason, and like just top notch trash talking from us. But like, yeah, he can he can't get away with this.
But I think what makes it worse for her is that her instincts told her, don't trust Oz. Like she was always like, Oz, there's something about you. There's something. Everyone underestimates you. Like she knew, and yet she
Mm-hmm.
still fell for it. So that must be
Oh,
like, oh, I
it's
knew
just
the
like
mother.
and
Right.
so I think, but I do like that she's almost not almost she's taking it like one obstacle at a time. Like it's almost she's like, okay, great, I'm gonna get to you, Oz. Let me just
Right.
let me
Right.
prune this house first of all,
Right.
right?
Right. Right. Right.
And
Right.
now I feel like definitely next episode is
And put a
all of the
bookmark on that.
resources are gonna all the resources are coming against Oz now, right? Like
Well,
she
I think that's why she keeps Viti alive. I think it's mostly because he has information on the family stuff. Like
Mhm.
he's the one that probably knows all the passwords to stuff.
Yeah,
You know, you
yeah,
can't kill everybody because how am I
yeah.
supposed to get to the bank accounts? How am I supposed
Which
to
I
get it?
like, right?
Yeah,
It wasn't just like red rage anger, right? It wasn't
yeah,
just
right,
like, I hate you all, kill. It's like, okay, I'm getting rid of almost all of you. Not the young girl. I'm not crazy, everybody.
yeah, right.
I'm just angry, all right?
Yeah.
I'm not actually batshit crazy, but like, yeah, Vidi, come here. And it might still help her get that deal with the forgot their names. The people who she was taking the
Oh,
new
oh, the triads.
candy to, the triads, yeah.
Yeah.
Just because Vidi was kind of speaking on that a little bit. So I feel like she's being very strategic, which I like. Again, I can't remember the last time where I've seen a character commit, I'm gonna say like what, mass murder, and I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yes.
Right. Right. Right.
They all deserve it. One and
Right.
like, no matter what happens to her from here, she's had this victory.
Right.
Like, like you can sleep well tonight, Sophia. Even
Right.
if it's just for one night, just know that you've done. Even Falcon would be proud in the afterlife. Like, yeah,
I mean,
that's
technically, yeah.
that's what I want from the head
That's the
of a
thing.
family. Like,
She
yes.
became honestly became what she was being molded to become, just not
Mhm.
but aimed at the family itself as opposed to aiming outside, right? And it shows again as much as Carmine was all about I want you to take over. It's probably been I want you to take over after I die because while I'm still alive, it's all about me.
It's
Okay,
all me. Like,
it's all about me. All right, I knew everything. Just he didn't even give her benefit of the doubt when it came to
sir.
the reporter conversation. He's like, nope, Straight up,
Which I
it's
wondered.
like,
I wondered if I don't. I thought they were going to show pictures that like Penguin took or something. Because
yeah, yeah, something more. But no, he just that was enough for the father to like, all right, Penguin, we're promoting you. Go and get a new suit. Go get your hair done. And at the same time, tell this guy to go kill that reporter and blame it on
yeah,
my. Like things move so quickly,
it
like so
it's
quickly.
almost impressive, right? Like it's just like damn. Like I wonder like, how many calls did it take? Is there like a WhatsApp group? Like, do you know
Right.
like how do you deliver this information? Like, hey guys, by the way, my daughter is driving now. I need you to arrest her, take her to
And at the
Arkham.
same time, got to kill
Yeah,
this reporter and blame it on her.
yeah,
Here's all the
like
evidence, and
and
calling all
like
the newspapers and telling them to use the moniker the Hangman.
yeah, like damn,
You know,
like
straight away.
I mean,
I was like,
that's the
oh shit.
reason he's a criminal mastermind, I guess. But like, it's just yeah. Again, seeing it all on, see, if we saw it from not Sophia's angle, I don't know if it would have had the same like impact to me per se, right? But just seeing her go through the betrayal from Oz and then them running us through this like she said, like every man, Oz, her father, Luca, they all act like, oh, let's help you, Sophia, and they all have betrayed her, right? It's different even if it's like, 2 out of 4. No, it's like across the board, everybody betrays her. She's like, fuck them all, every single one.
Which which begs the question for me, and this is something I was thinking about while I was watching it because I thought it was going to be revealed while watching it. You know, when they talk about all these family members wrote affidavits claiming that she was crazy.
It's great,
I thought there's going to
man.
be a secret letter from the brother that was going to be revealed. Because my question is, how much does the brother know? Because he must believe that she's innocent, but then who does he believe
Mhm.
is guilty? You know, does he know that the father is the one that's doing all of this? Because he must know the reach of the father's power. And so,
Yeah,
you know, behind the scenes, what conversations is he having to his father
yeah,
about his sister? And you know, this is just I guess at this point it's probably going to be guesses from us because I don't know how many flashbacks we're going to get. But I'm curious as to, you know, and we know that he did visit her because she mentions that's how they came up with their plan, blah blah blah.
yeah.
But I just don't know if brother had chosen dad's side and be like, you know, my sister's crazy, or was he kind of trying to appease both sides? You know, was he putting his foot down with his dad and saying this is all wrong? This is my sister. I don't know. What do you think? Where does
Actually,
Alberto's mind lay?
I'm
Because for
unsure
10 years,
yeah, 10 years, Jesus. But they painted Alfredo as not the sharpest tool
Alfredo,
on the shed,
Alberto.
right? Oh my gosh, they painted they painted Pasta Alfredo, i.e. Alberto, as not being the sharpest tool in the shed, right? For sure. Like his dad is
Yes.
constantly like, "Oh yeah, you're a fool." um, but he does seem to genuinely love his sister. But the reason why I agree with you is you have to know that if my sister didn't do it, the only person that had the power to do this is my father. Because if
Mhm,
somebody else did it, my father would have gotten her out of the situation,
mhm,
right? But would would he have spoken up? I don't know. I don't know how like intentional he was
mhm.
about these things because I feel like if he also spoke up, his dad would easily be like, um, actually, we need another room in Arkham. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
my son's coming through. Yeah, yeah, he's on his way. So I don't know. I do hope we get like another, even if not like I don't want another full episode flashback, but like some snippets just of maybe showing out Alberto. Yes, I got it. Maybe showing Alberto arguing with Carmine, right? And maybe just ending on it being like, "You better shut your mouth, boy."
Mhm, mhm,
He's like, "I only shut my mouth if you make me the head." Like that
mhm,
would always make sense to me a little
mhm,
bit, where he is playing both sides, and he's like, "Dad, I know what you did, but like, I'll do whatever you want me to do."
mhm,
Right? Like
mhm,
I can kind of see that because he's definitely not smart enough or bold enough to go up against his dad, but like you can tell he still like loves his sister. Even when he went to see her at the 6 month mark,
mhm,
I feel like he genuinely felt bad. He was like, "Bruh, you ain't getting out of here, sis." Like,
mhm.
it sucks.
Though it's interesting because what we do know from the movie, and this could have been what they play with, is that in the movie he's established as a junkie,
Go ahead.
right? And even at the beginning of this series, um, sorry, not in the movie, in the series, is the beginning he's established as a junkie, and even Oz tries to blame that on why he's dead, but the sister's
Yeah,
like, oh, he's been off of it for a bit, so
yeah,
maybe he did try and say something, and dad kind of like drugged him up, turned him into a
yeah.
junkie. You know, like, oh, shall I try this new drug out, and then kind of
Very
hooks
on
him on.
brand.
right? Hooks him on this drug, and so if he says anything, no one will believe him because he's just a junkie
Yes,
or whatever.
yeah,
Because
yeah, because yeah,
in the flashback past parts, we don't really see that he's a junkie.
yeah,
So this could be prior to that. We just see he's not a great business person, probably not the
yeah.
best person to take over the business,
He likes to
but
party, sure, but not a junkie.
he wasn't a full on junkie. And I
Mhm.
feel like maybe that's what happened in between. He became a junkie during this period, and maybe his dad kind of led him down that path,
Mhm.
right? Because he can't have two kids in prison. He couldn't think of another way. So let's just pump him full of drugs so that if he says
Yeah,
anything, no one will believe him, right?
because I agree with that. That would have, I feel like that would even like undermine his status as a crime boss. Like, wait,
Hmm.
both your kids are
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in Arkham? Like, bro, what's up with you, man? Like, what's really going on? So yeah, it
Right,
would
right,
be easier to just be like, you know what, just keep that stupid boy
right, right,
here.
right.
Give him some candy.
Right. What do you know to think of this show? What do you think of this episode? What do you assume will happen in the next half of this season? Find us on social media at The Nerdy Bunch. You can also find us on our email, the nerdy bunch podcast at gmail.com. We like to hear your thoughts and your theories. Sometimes they're correct, sometimes they're completely wrong, but that's the fun of theorizing, is to figure out
Mhm,
that
mhm.
journey on the way. Check out some of our other podcasts. We're currently doing WandaVision. I keep saying WandaVision.
I
Currently doing
hang
Agatha
together.
All
I get
Along,
that.
which had some big reveals of its own. Oh my
I
god!
was say no spoilers, especially on WandaVision.
And yeah, so check that out. If you have any recommendations for movies and TV shows you'd like us to review, or just stuff you want us just to watch, find us on social media and let us know those thoughts. And this is spooky season, so if you're watching anything in the spooky vein, let us know what you're watching. Uh, Thank you, Andrew.
It's like, oh my gosh, see, when you just mentioned something to watch, Silo comes out in a month.
Yes,
I saw that, and I'm actually
yes.
very excited for that.
Fine, we might
Just
review that too.
yeah, I kind of maybe I actually really enjoyed that show.
Great show. Great show.
Yeah, and I think it's a month. Yeah, so this should be wrapping up.
Yeah,
All right, I get that. Yeah, we'll have some
yeah.
time.
We'll have time. Anyway, thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Dave.
My name's English Dave, and this has been a Nerdy Bunch presentation of. Well, I don't know what I was going to say something to marvel about because we're talking about Agatha.
Nerdy Bunch review of Lord of the Rings.
I should just pre-record Nerdy Bunch review of and then insert.
Well, actually, though. But anyways,
Insert.
the Penguin.
Yes, this
Right?
review of
You have like that TikTok voice. I'm like Nerdy Bunch review of the Penguin. It's like
the
very
penguin.
obviously not you saying it.
But the pronunciations of like the penguin.
The Penguin.
Penguin.
Oh my gosh.
Of the Penguin episode 4. And as always, Andrew,
Keep it nerdy.
peace, y'all.